Hey folks, Alan Saunders, and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush here at the SteelersNow.com YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching and making this new daily 5 to 10 minute podcast such a great success. Everyone has had a wonderful reaction to it, and I really appreciate everyone for listening and watching. And again, this is now available on all podcast platforms, in addition to here on the YouTube channel. So if you have any problems finding it, let me know. But it seems like people are getting it because we're getting lots of good reaction. I want to talk today about Brandon Aiyuk a little bit more. It appears that it is becoming more likely that the Steelers are going to be able to land the San Francisco 49ers wide receiver. It was reported by Adam Schefter late last night that the New England Patriots have removed themselves from consideration. Although, as I said to Zachary Smith yesterday on Steelers Afternoon Drive, no team is out of it until Aiyuk is having a press conference in a different city. It is just, they may be right now. That doesn't mean that can't change again. I do believe, though, as I said yesterday, the longer this goes on, the better I feel about the Steelers' chances. And I do feel as better than I have at any point about the Steelers landing Brandon Aiyuk right now here as we speak on Wednesday morning. I just want to talk about the 49ers here, though. I think this is a very like they've very poorly played this hand. When you look at the situation, as Zachary Smith and I talked throughout the summer about the way this needed to happen for the Steelers to land Brandon Aiyuk was that things needed to get so contentious that the 49ers decided they had to make a bad trade. They are not going to make their team better by trading Brandon Aiyuk to anyone, and they are certainly going to make their team worse by trading Brandon Aiyuk to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Why would they do it then? Well, the only reason to make that trade is if you were just so sick of the guy because you feel like the relationship has gotten so toxic that you feel like you're better off without him, even if you really aren't. And honestly, like it's a bit soft of the 49ers if they think they are right here. So like, how did they get so sick of him? Nothing bad has been said in the media. No mud has been slung. He reported to training camp, even though he hasn't been practicing. He's been around. Like, where are these problems that the 49ers think they are getting rid of by trading this man? Think about what the Steelers absorbed from Antonio Brown before they finally pulled the trigger on a bad trade to get rid of him. Now compare that to what the 49ers have gone through with Brandon Aiyuk, and it just doesn't even add up. Like this is a relatively passive holdout here. And they still, if you read the reporting from Michael Silver, the San Francisco Chronicle, Kyle Shanahan is frustrated, and the team's brass is upset that he had the audacity to request a trade, even though Deebo Samuel did the exact same thing in this exact same situation. It just doesn't add up to me, and I think the 49ers have really poorly played their hand. It does seem like they are going to trade Brandon Aiyuk, whether it's to the Steelers or not. They are absolutely going to make their team worse doing it. It's going to be a bad trade, and they shouldn't do it. Brandon Aiyuk has given no outward indication that he is willing to make the kind of sacrifice that would be required to get out of this contract. He just hasn't. He hasn't been willing to miss a $40,000 a day fine to not show up at training camp. So what would make them think he is willing to sacrifice $800 and some $1,000 a week to miss games? And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if he missed games. The only way he can get out of his contract with the 49ers is by playing with the 49ers. And so he has no real way out. This is just very strange to me. I don't really understand how the 49ers let it get to this point. And, I think I have a decent idea of what is being offered. I've reported that the Steelers are offering guard James Daniels. I don't know if that's going to end up being part of the package or not. We've seen that Amari Cooper and Kendrick Bourne have been parts of the packages from the New England Patriots and the Cleveland Browns. None of those players are anywhere near as good as Aiyuk, and the draft picks that are coming along with them are not even really enough to make up the difference, even in a theoretical sense, let alone to a 49ers team that is trying to win a Super Bowl this year. Those draft picks are completely useless to that end. Maybe they could get a draft pick and a player and then flip that draft pick for something else from somewhere else. But the NFL trade market is not exactly, wound up right now. And so I think the 49ers have really misplayed this entire situation. I think that if they trade Brandon Aiyuk, it's going to be a big mistake. And I think if you're the team that trades with the 49ers for Brandon Aiyuk, you're going to look pretty good. And Omar Khan has made looking pretty good in trades and other moves a bit of a specialty for his. So maybe we shouldn't be too surprised if he is able to pull off a deal for Aiyuk at this point. I do think I really like the cards that Omar is holding at this point. And I believe that it's probably now becoming more likely than not that the Steelers will, that Brandon Aiyuk will be traded. And I think the Steelers have a good chance of anybody else to be the team he is traded to. That's all I got right now. We're talking to Mike Tomlin this morning. I'm sure he's not going to talk about this at all, but we'll learn more about what his plans are for playing the Houston Texans, like who is going to play quarterback and how much his starters are going to play in that game, so on and so forth. That's at 9 a.m., so we'll have that right after this. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later after practice.